In this video, we're going to take a look at another one of the plugins we installed in a previous exercise. The first plugin we looked at was Contact Form 7, and there's a video for that. The plugin we're going to look at this time is the Social Icons widget in Block by WPZOOM. And again, just to remind you, this was a plugin that was added to WordPress by clicking on Add New, and then did a search for WPZOOM, and found the Social Icons widget, this one here. We installed it and we activated it. Now, this particular plugin does not add anything to the menu. Where you'll find this plugin is when you are customizing your website or when you are creating posts or pages. So let's begin with a page. I'm going to go out and let's pick a page like the About the Author page. This is a good one, I think, for this particular widget or plugin. I'm going to click on Edit. Now, you know that in your project, you have to create an About the Author page. And let's just remind you why the About the Author page is important. Anytime you've read a book or a novel, there's usually been some sort of a profile about the author. And reading about the author, you can understand a little bit more about their interests, where they came from, how they think. You just get a good introduction to the person that wrote the book. And from that introduction, you can draw some conclusions as to whether you trust that person, whether you understand the world they came from and why they decided to create whatever it is they've created. The same thing goes for your website. You're creating content for your target audience. Your target audience will hopefully find your content because it's well written and it lures them in, it hooks them, it reels them in, and it provides them with something of value, and then maybe leads them to a call to action. But before they really completely believe your content, they should take a look and learn a little bit more about the person that wrote the content. The person that wrote the content goes to trust, goes to accuracy, goes to validity. So in the About the Author page, now, by the way, this doesn't have to be a hi, my name is Stefan, and I have this, these are the members of my family. It doesn't have to be that personal. What it should do, however, is help build that trust with your audience. That being said, you would have a paragraph or two. Perhaps you would have a picture of yourself, or maybe a picture that you feel is suitable for this page. It does not have to be a picture of yourself. It could be an avatar, could be your favorite picture from a trip that you went on. If you have a travel site, it could be a picture of an awesome dinner spread that you created if you have a cooking site. Anything that relates and helps people build trust and confidence. So definitely a picture on the About the Author page should probably be something of your own, not something that you've taken from another site. Now, once you have your paragraph, I'm going to do this is my paragraph. Perhaps you'll want to add some social media connections. Now, somewhere else on your site, and this is my site here, you might want to have social media icons somewhere else on the site. Maybe you'll want them in one of your sidebars or your widget areas. You might put them in these areas, and we'll look at that shortly. But you also might want them right in one of your posts or one of your pages. And the About the Author page seems like a pretty good place to put it. So to add social media icons, we first installed the WPZOOM social media plugin. This added a couple of things. Whoops, didn't want to do that, sorry. This added a couple of things to our site. First of all, it added to the blocks in our block editor, way down here, a social icons block. And you can see up here, I can't hover over it and point at the same time, but you can see this is what the block will look like. So I will choose this block, and it puts a block in with some social media icons. Now, the defaults are Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, but we can add additional widgets. Basically, what you do is you put the name of the social media site that you want in here. So LinkedIn, for example. Notice it will automatically, if it recognizes it, create the social media link. If I want to remove one, let's say like Facebook, for example, I can delete Facebook. If I don't have a Twitter account, I can delete that icon. Now, these are just default icons, and these icons just go to the home page of the site. So you will have to modify them to go to your LinkedIn page and your Instagram profile. And you can find out what those links are by going to Instagram or going to LinkedIn and finding out what your personal URL is. From here, we can edit the details. We can update the URL. We can figure out colors. We can decide what kind of icon we want. It comes with a few different icon types. They all look the same to me. Let's see. They all look pretty much the same to me. I'll just go back to the top one. And I'm going to actually cancel that because I don't want to screw it up. Go back here, edit the details. So you can make changes to colors. You can make changes to the icons. Here's the LinkedIn icon up here. I was missing it. But there are many, many other social icons. Here's a hashtag icon, for example. Here's a TikTok icon. Here's a different TikTok icon. Here's a travel zoo. Is that travel zoo? Or is that, what's the owl? It's either travel zoo or TripAdvisor. I don't recall. All kinds of different social media icons for most of them. There's an email link if you want to put an email icon in as well. So I'll save this. We now have our icon. So this is one place that we can use it. And this will appear on the post or on the bottom of the page. So if I update this page and I go back to my site and I click on my About page, there's the paragraph about me and there are my social media links at the bottom. Makes sense. Another thing we can do with this plugin, however, is we can go to the Customize menu. We can go to Widgets. We can choose an area. So either the side, this is Minerva that we were using in class. So we either in the sidebar or one of the footer areas, let's choose the sidebar. I can add a widget. Now, if you recall when we were looking at themes, there were certain widgets available. By adding the plugin, we actually got this widget added. So I'll click on this widget and notice that I end up with some links here. Follow us. Do I want text along the icons? How do I want the icons aligned? Center, no icons. And what do I want the icons to look like? Notice it's put these 3 default ones in as well. I can remove them. I can add more exactly the way that we just did it. Of course, there are instructions. We can move them around back and forth, make them in a different order. And when I apply this, I'm not sure why they're showing up in this fashion, but I've applied it. Let's go and see what happens if I reload my page. Go back to my home page here. No, apply it and publish. Sorry. And I'll reload the page. There's my social media icons here. Now I can also add them to other widget areas. So I will go back. And if you look at the bottom of my page down here, I have some something in this left area, but let's go over to the middle, the right-hand footer. Add a widget, social icons, publish, and here they are. So an easy way to add some social icons. Now, just a note, for the assignment, you need to have one working social media link. The other ones, if you want to add them, just to have them there, you can just leave the default links to go to the Facebook homepage, the Twitter homepage. But at least one of them should work. And my recommendation, since you all have LinkedIn profiles, is that you add a LinkedIn link to your LinkedIn profile. So that would be the one that should work. The other ones, you can just leave it so if someone clicks on them, they just go to the twitter.com homepage as opposed to your own personal account. Now, if you have a Twitter feed and you think it's appropriate to link to your website, and by thinking appropriate, I mean, is it going to be of interest to your target audience? If that's the case, go ahead and create a link. Please keep in mind that when you're working for a company, the company would likely have its own Twitter account, its own Instagram account. If they do not, their own TikTok account. If they do not have that, as a marketer, it might be an idea to suggest to the business owner that it would be a good idea for them to have an Instagram account. Let's say you're working for a cupcake shop. We want to have an Instagram account and we want to take pictures on a regular basis of the orders we're producing for people. We want to show off the amazing cupcakes that we create. So you would create an Instagram account for the cupcake shop, and you would link your Instagram icon on your website to that Instagram account so that people can follow you and see all the amazing creations that you have. The same with TikTok, the same with Facebook, the same with Twitter, or any other social, Pinterest, any other social media property that you may choose to use. So that's the WPZOOM. Of course, there are other options for social media icons. If you do not like these, there are other plugins that provide other kinds of social media icons. You can go back into WordPress, go to plugins, look for social media. In addition to that, well, let's actually clear this out completely. Go to add new and look for social media. And see what there are. Note that there are also plugins you can add that will allow you to add your Twitter feed as an actual feed. See what comes up when I search for Twitter. So custom Twitter feeds. You could add something like this, and then you could actually put a little box in your sidebar that has your actual Twitter feed and shows the most recent tweets. So lots of different things that you can add with plugins. And that concludes my video for the social media plugin.